Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line, and the B-grade Australian celebrities, C-grade, whatever you want to call them, are back at it again in the limelight, getting their name flashed through all the publications and all over the internet again, just to give them another 5 minutes of fame. They are back at it again, this time supporting the yes vote. I mean, we all know what they were pushing over the last couple of years. And now they started pushing the war in Ukraine, and now they're pushing the yes vote. It's come down to it. Magda Szubanski, a overweight, boring leftard on Twitter, has decided she's going to make a list. She's going to make a list of all the people promoting the no vote. And what do people from that part of Europe start doing when they make lists? They round them up. Is she friends with anyone who owns a few trains or gas chambers? I don't know. Being a Pole, or, you know, having parents that are Polish, you think she might have learnt her lesson about failed artists that make lists, but she hasn't. And she's lashed out in the Daily Mail here and saying that she's receiving an avalanche of hate from online trolls about, of all things, her weight. Oh no, the poor little cretin. She goes out there, calls everyone a racist bigot, and then expects no one to oppose her opinion. No one to clap back and say, no, I don't agree with you, even in a polite way. She thinks that only the correct thoughts are worth voicing, and if you're voting no, then your opinions don't matter. You're racist, and that you should be put on a list. So for future reference, apparently. We'll have a look at this story here from the Daily Mail, but we'll touch on her Twitter spats as well. Magda Szubanski hits back at a troll who vilified her after she showed her support for the Yes campaign. The comedian has signalled her support for Indigenous voice to Parliament, with the referendum due to be held on October 14th. But many who were planning on voting no have lashed out at the TV star, with one being accused of fat shaming. She built her entire career on being fat, and someone points it out when she literally has in her Twitter bio, where is it? Let's go back to that. Host, Big National Health Check, ABC. She's a host for the Big National Health Check. How many jabs did she get? I mean, she's obviously in the category where she needs them. I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's an image I could have done without. She's lashed out at people here on Twitter for saying that she's fat. The poor thing. The poor thing. How is she gonna ever? I mean, being a comedian, you think you'd be able to take a joke, but apparently not. Well, not that she's ever really been that funny anyway. I hate Kath and Kim with a passion. I know I'm saying it's saying something sacrilegious here in Australia, but my dear God, did I hate that show and anything to do with it. It's just bogan, non-funny trash. I mean, you might have got a chuckle at it, but god damn was it garbage. The comedian signalled his support for the Indigenous voice to Parliament. Many are planning lashed out at her, accused of fat shaming. Twitter user who has since deleted her comment made a comment about Szubanski's health. Her life is at risk. The health of our democracy is also at risk if several celebrities like Magda decide it's their right to intimidate those who dare to differ. So she didn't even call her fat. She just said that she was her health was at risk and that our democracy is at risk, which I completely agree with. Our democracy, that little bit that we do have left, is completely at risk. We are under attack by these woke socialist Nazi scum. I don't care what I call them. They are scum. They out there saying that we're racist. I mean, I'm Aboriginal. My dad's black. I'm white as all fuck. What are you going to say to people like me? Because there's thousands of us. What are you going to say? I mean, I don't want the vote to go through. I think it's an absolute terrible idea to give any form of dictatorship rule to the government, especially when we do not vote those people in. If we do not get a vote, our democracy is gone. And there's no amount of succulent Chinese meals that will get it back. Rove McManus, you used to be cool, dude, and you're a shill. I mean, he'll be on with Waleed Ali talking about how he was made fun of on the internet. I'm sure Magda will as well if they can fit her on the panel. Anyway, Szubanski rejects the remark and questioned that why was it okay for the No campaign to heap abuse on her. You're calling people Nazis on Twitter and calling people racist. Is there anything worse than being labelled as a rapist or maybe a paedophile or a woman basher or something? Because racist is right up there. It's like not number one, I'd say. It's top 3 at least. And unless you're lying, you shouldn't be worried at all. It's not intimidation, sorry. It's an attempt to safeguard the truth for the sake of a functioning democracy, the comedian replied. Unless you're lying, you shouldn't be worried at all. Curious, what do you think it's okay for the No campaign to heap personal abuse on me? You don't think that's intimidation? If you're out there intimidating people on Twitter and saying that you're going to be making a list of people who are voting no, I'll put my hand up first. You can fucking add me to that list. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do about it? You're too fat and old and useless to do anything. You couldn't run up a flight of stairs if you tried. Maybe if there was a jab at the top for you or a donut. I don't know. What are you going to do? You're Polish, right? She's Polish. I know a lot of Poles, and I know Poland is a fantastic country, which we should strive to be like a lot like the Poles. Your father and mother would be ashamed of you if they could see what you were doing. You're writing lists. When has a failed artist of sorts written lists about people? I don't know. He had a funny little mustache, didn't he? If you're writing lists about people who go against your train of thought, go against your beliefs. I mean, people were writing lists during the pandemic the last couple of years. And anytime we mention about writing a list and remembering those people who were doing things like that, we get lashed out at and say that we're psychos and Nazis and things like that, because we don't want to forget what you did to us over the last few years, or people like Magda did to us. They lied. They force-injected people. They mandated it, so you had to go and get it. They did it to children. They did it to elderly. They did it to... If they were really upset and really worried about Aboriginal people, she should have millions of dollars by now, shouldn't she? She'd be rich. She'd be wealthy. She'd have some money. How about she goes out to one of those communities and donates some of her money and some of her time to help the less fortunate? But no, they won't. They sit there on Twitter calling you a racist, calling you a bigot without knowing any facts about it, because they got a little incentive from the government, from whatever media corporation, and maybe even they're just doing it off their own backs just so they get a little bit of notice in the media, because they sit there in their ivory towers and they really don't care about anyone. They least of all Aboriginal people. The only person who would honestly probably care about Aboriginal people along the lines of Magda Szubanski I could think of would be someone like Ernie Dingo. And I don't see him running around calling everyone racist. He could, I don't know, maybe. We'll see how it goes. It's still got a long way before the vote, but what do you guys think? Do you think that she's in the right? I mean, we can have a look at some of her Twitter. Here we go. She's promoting more of the woke inner city movement there. Oh, their Liberal Parliament. Oh, gee, isn't that funny? Here, P.S. I've screen capped the avalanche of hate your unsolicited concern for my health has unleashed. How very kind of you. See, she's doing it. What are you going to do? She goes around threatening to sue people for calling her fat. You made money out of calling yourself fat and acting as a fat actor. You were the fat actor, besides Rebel Wilson, who copped a massive torrent of hate from people like Magda for losing the weight. Fat shame, you haven't noticed fat anywhere on your health. It's life is at risk, blah, 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 blah. And she goes around and says, just take a look, no one's directed me for expressing my opinion. It's not intimidation, it's an attempt to safeguard the truth for the safe functioning democracy. Unless you're lying, you shouldn't be worried at all. Curious, what do you think of the No campaign has heaped personal abuse on me? You don't think that's intimidation? Oh, look, she's out marching. Well, you weren't out marching, were you? No, you had to go and share someone else's. Oh, and look, she's got she, her in her profile. So it just goes to show you. All these people are scum. They are scum. I mean, you're accusing me of running away from an argument while you hide behind an avatar. Hypocrisy. No one's accusing you of running anywhere. Magda Szubanski, maybe you should get out and run. It's fun, okay? Maybe run straight off the edge of a pier. I don't know. Go be with your people back in the ocean. Go and find Shamu, Migaloo, whatever it is. Nope, I'm sick of this lying and you're thinking you get away with it. It's malarkey, not just personally, but because it's being used as disinformation, the proper debate. People don't go on the defensive over the internet, as far as respond to you and laugh it off and get along with your life. Look at how healthy does she look? She looks so healthy, doesn't she? How many jabs did you get? Shaming you for lying is probably really defamation if directed at individuals. So she's going and threatening to sue people over a Twitter post. So she really loves freedom of speech. What a scumbag. I'm sorry, just these people annoy the shit out of me. I mean, we grew up with them in our childhood and teenage years, and they made money hand over fist, and then they go out and they just shill to any cause, anything. I can't even look at its face anymore. They go and shill to any cause and anything that'll get them in the public eye again, because no one talks about them, because their work, their art that they produced is so mediocre and piss poor that no one in 100 years will remember them for anything, because they are nothing but shills, they are nothing but sellouts, they have no spine, they have no soul, and they will sell out to the highest bidder, even the lowest bidder at the looks of this, because I can't imagine someone of her stature getting any sort of large sum of money for this. If anything, she's just clout chasing, trying to stay relevant in the news media today because she can say something. What, she's going to come out and say that she was R-worded by Russell Brand in a couple of weeks just so she gets some fucking media attention. I don't know about you, but I'm really over all these B, A, B, C, D, down to Z class celebrities who are people you don't even know their name or whatever work they came from, telling us that we're racist and that we're bigots and that we're grandma murderers over the last few years and that we're killing people without going and getting the jab. And they continue to do it. If we're not on board with the war in Ukraine and giving them money and funds to kill Russian people and spill blood in our name with our dollar, if we're not on board for that, they call us Putin advocates and we're in love with Putin. If we think that we should have a different government in power, then we're Nazis and you name it. They've got every word under the sun. As soon as you say something to them, even if it's as benign as a comment on Twitter, you are labelled a racist and a bogan and all sorts of things. And coming from her, that's fucking rich. I don't know about you, but this has shit me right up the wall, and I am over people like her, over people like Waleed Ali, Rove McManus now, all these B-rate comedians that are jumping on the bandwagon and calling us racist. And they're not just saying that we should vote yes, they're coming out and attacking us. They're not just saying that you should be able to pick and choose between the two choices, and they're not giving any sort of nuanced argument on the topic. They're just coming out and attacking people who disagree with them. And it's disgusting, and they've done it over the last couple of years with the whole pandemic. They did it over the war in Ukraine, which they're still obviously doing, and now they're doing it over the yes vote. And I'm telling you that right now that this vote will go through as a yes. If you decide you were voting no and you either don't vote, you don't get out and do it, or you just think it's all rigged anyway, you are condemning us to a third tier of government that is unelected, and we will be handing over the reins of this country and our freedoms to a bunch of people that are unelected and basically a racist group of people who think that we are scum. and they will take every single part of this country they can. There is over 40,000 native title land claims in this country at this time, and they are going for everything. They have taken Fraser Island, they have taken the Cape, they have taken places. They're trying to take half of Brisbane. Anything worth any money, they are taking. They own so much land already, and you are not allowed to step in there as a white fella without giving them a handful of cash. And this is what they want. They want reparations. They want land given back to them. This is not about a voice. You talk to any Aboriginal person that lives in a community where they have nothing and they live in stick huts. They do not want a voice. They want a hand. And sometimes they just want to be left alone to do their own thing. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe hit Magda up on Twitter and see what she has to say about your thoughts on the matter. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.